there, welcome back to Movie Review Mom. And before I get into the movie, I want to thank all of you for reaching out. So many of you have been asking, where are you? We haven't seen you for a while, because I've been posting every single day, and then all of a sudden it stopped. I think I did one video in the last 2 weeks. So thank you. I appreciate your support, truly. You have no idea how much I appreciate it. But anyway, several things happened all in sequential order. My stepfather actually passed away, and I went out of town twice. And my virtual assistant, who edits my videos and does my social media, actually had a family crisis and had to quit. And so because of all of those things, oh yeah, and I got a new job. So because of all of those things, I haven't even had time to watch movies, let alone upload the video reviews and all that kind of stuff. So finally, I had the chance to watch a couple of Halloween movies. So those will be the first ones up, starting with today's movie, which is called Halloween Kills. Dun, dun, dun. It's rated R, and it's an hour and 46 minutes. So I'm going to give you an overview in a nutshell, tell you things I liked and didn't like as quickly as possible, so that you can get on and go over to the theater or watch it online or whatever you want to see it. So in a quick nutshell, if you're a fan of the Halloween franchise and can't seem to get enough, well, here you go. Here's one more addition. This new addition in the franchise picks up right where the last one left off. More screams, more gore, more chaos, more mayhem, more of the same. To its credit, the movie actually looks, feels, and sounds like it really does belong to the creepy collection. And that's a good thing. The crowd chants, "Evil dies tonight, once and for all." Yeah, right. Obviously, this movie franchise is going to continue to go on and on as long as people watch these movies and clamor for more, which apparently they've been doing. So let me tell you about some of the things that I really liked about it. First of all, classic jumps and scares, classic Halloween, super scary, creepy movie. So if that's what you're looking for this Halloween season, here it is. However, it is rated R. There is a lot of blood and gore and violent deaths and disgusting images and all of that. Not a children's family-friendly Halloween movie. There's a scene in a bar where past victims and survivors are mentioned, offering kind of quick clips from previous films in the series. And so if you're kind of trying to catch up, well, what happened in the last one, that'll just be a little quick refresher. However, if you haven't seen any of these movies before, you'll hear a little bit about the Michael Myers lore. He's the bad guy, the creepy guy with the mask, through the characters and conversations. You'll catch on quickly enough, although you won't quite understand the motivation of this monster. And some people will argue he's just a psycho. He has no motivation. And there's definitely a case to be made for that. Now, the passionate cast includes Jamie Lee Curtis, Judy Greer, Anthony Michael Hall, Will Patton, Thomas Mann, and even Kylie Richards, who was in the very first Halloween movie. So fans are loving on that, just to kind of reminisce. This movie has been going for decades. The film's executive producers are Jamie Lee Curtis and John Carpenter, two fans of the franchise. Jamie Lee Curtis actually said that she thought that this new chapter in the story is a masterpiece, mirroring the Black Lives Matter and that whole cultural moment that is happening here in the United States, at least. That seems a little bit of a stretch to call this a masterpiece, and even to compare it to the Black Lives Matters movement, simply because there's so much more involved with that movement. And probably the comparison is there's a mob scene that kind of goes awry. And so that could be the comparison. So there are some things that I didn't like about the movie, other than it's just super bloody and gory and violent and nonsensical. The last addition to the franchise was interesting because it brought back Jamie Lee Curtis. This one, however, was just kind of boring. She's in it, but not she doesn't do a whole lot in it. It's just kind of a string of senseless, brutal violence and deaths. And honestly, I had never seen any of these Halloween movies in the franchise until last year. Everybody was making such a big deal about the fact that Jamie Lee Curtis was coming back from the original. And I thought, oh, maybe I should watch the original. Now I'm grown up, it won't scare me as much. And again, it's just sort of senseless killing. And so I watched the one with Jamie Lee Curtis, and I thought, okay, there's some closure, there's some sense of satisfaction, but oh no, that satisfaction didn't last long, because now they popped out another movie and we know that the story is not over, which they led us to believe that it was. So wah wah. At this point, don't most viewers actually watch this because they're looking for something spooky to watch at Halloween, but they're really expecting to just laugh at the whole time, the whole movie while they watch it? Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. Some of the deaths actually are laughable, and I heard people laughing in theaters. If you watch it watch it at home, online, or whatever, streaming. I actually laughed out loud at one of them. I was just like, okay, is this a comedy? And some people have actually said that the movie is so self-aware that it's a comedy. And if that's true, it's a very dark comedy and not really my cup of tea. There's super shallow dialogue. And like most horror movies, most of the characters just make really stupid decisions. And you're like, no. And then there are just so many nonsensical things like, this time they all gathered as a mob. And again, I don't know what happened in previous movies, but why didn't they think of that sooner? Surely all these people could take down one guy, right? And other times, people who are like, no, don't kill me, they're able to miraculously escape. And then other people who are innocent just get slaughtered. There's no running. Can't you outrun this guy? I've never seen him run. Anyway, there's silly things like that going on in the movie, and people just love it. So let me give you some tips for parents. The first tip being, this is a horror flick that is not appropriate for kids. There's some bullying going on, not to mention, Michael Myers is the biggest bully of all. As I mentioned, tons of blood and gore, violence, brutal deaths, weapons, hand-to-hand combat, extremely high body count. Again, I haven't seen all of them in the franchise, but this one had a noticeably higher body count than the first one and that last one in 2018 that I saw. There's alcohol, profanity, including F-bombs, a gay couple, lots of people in peril. So there's the heads up. Now, in terms of themes that are worth talking about, some of the themes that were addressed in the film are taking the law into your own hands, like vigilante justice and whether or not that's good or bad, evil, mob rule, the decisions and the mistakes that mobs can make, mistaken identities, and revenge. Hope, I suppose, is also another one, but lots of fear going on in this movie, and some courage too. Some people were pretty brave trying to, stand up to Michael Myers. So I always write down interesting lines and funny lines just so that I can tell you about them so you can get a taste of the movie. And so Deputy Frank Hawkins is played by Will Patton. He's such a likable guy. I think in every movie I've seen him in, and he says, he needs to die. And so, of course, everybody jumps on that bandwagon. And then at one point, Tommy Doyle, who's played by Anthony Michael Hall, says, now it's turning us into monsters. And I appreciated that, because as you watch the mob and how they behave and the decisions that they make, you're just like, oh, and then there's another character, and I didn't catch his name, but he stands in front of Michael, in front of the mob, and he says, hey, Michael, it's Halloween. Everyone's entitled to a good scare. And I kind of thought that was sort of a stupid line. Why are you entitled to a scare? I don't know. But the movie is scary and laughable at the same time. Ultimately, the movie review mom grade I'm giving it is a C-. So some other movies I would recommend that you watch if you're in the mood for a Halloween movie would be maybe that 2018 movie, and then just pretend no other movies existed before, and that this one doesn't exist after. And then you might enjoy it. And then a really creepy movie. I really don't like slasher movies and even horror movies, but one movie that I haven't been able to stop thinking about since I saw it many years ago, that I thought was done really well because of the tension and suspense and the creepy factor, is a movie called The Skeleton Key. So if you want to watch something that's kind of creepy and spooky, but not over the top bloody and slasher and all of that, check that one out. All right, that is it for my review today. Hopefully I'll be able to bring some movies faster to my YouTube channel. And again, thank you so much for subscribing. You can also go over to Patreon and support me there. I really appreciate that. I've got lots of gifts that you can get. And then also follow me on my Facebook group, Movie Review Mom. And even though I haven't posted reviews, I have been posting on Facebook. And we've got some funny things going on over there. So go check that out. All right. Hopefully you'll have a very happy and safe Halloween this season. And the next movie that I'm reviewing is a family-friendly Halloween movie called The Addams Family 2. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.